It is officially time once again for another green flag here for the American Stock Car Racing League Super Speedway season. Drivers currently finishing up practice right now. About 3 minutes left in practice. Go ahead and throw that up for you. 2 minutes, 37 seconds actively left. Then, of course, we will go to qualifying, get the grid set, and it will be crazy racing action at another super speedway, which, of course, that's all we do here, of course. Once again, Asphalt Racing Network in the skies today. Will be another 50-lap caution break. So a lot of endurance racing up until that point, for sure. Of course, if you guys haven't followed, be sure to follow us here. If you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome to the Asphalt Racing Network. This isn't the only time we go live, I promise you that. Of course, here for the American Stock Car Racing League. On Mondays, 9:05 for your green flag. Right time, ARCA Series on Wednesdays and the Truck Series on Thursdays, 9:05 for your green flag there. And for the NARS Cup and Truck Series, Friday and Saturdays, 8:45 Eastern. For your green flag there, 5 days a week, we are live, and we have enough action for you wherever it may be. So be sure to drop the follow and tune in. 50 seconds left, and we are getting to qualifying. Seeing a lot of draft pack racing right now. They're trying to get comfortable and warmed up. And as always, we still have that GoFundMe link that will be posted and pinned until the end of the stream. $4,430 out of $5,000 in total. So if you have the opportunity to, we appreciate it. Click that link. It'll bring you right to the page. Like I said last week, we will not stop with that link until we hit the goal. Qualifying action set now. Who will be the first car out? Few guys going out right now. Chris Perry on the track. Russ Hancock on the track. Ethan Horst. Todd Poston on the track as well. Grayson Pate now making the qualifying run. Aaron Starkey joining the rest of the field so far. Mark Randall Jr., 26 car for the night. Gary Breland as well joining us here tonight in the 11. Dylan Picklesimmer returning for another week in that 88. Matthew Wilson in the 01 getting qualifying time started right now. Joshua Riddle in the 12 car tonight. James Mandarood. And Matt Benke on the track as well. Noah Davis just joining the field for his qualifying time. And Kevin Leash still yet to hit the board for qualifying. Who will take the top spot here tonight? Of course, 100 laps. About 18 laps for a fuel window, unlimited sets of tires. Stage caution at lap 50 in these next gen cars. Right now, Perry holding the lead on qualifying. Ethan Horse sitting in third. Mark Randall putting down a really good time there. He just set himself up for a pole position. If you are tuning in with us, now is your time to drop driver name picks in the chat. Who do you think is possibly going to get the pole? And who do you think is going to walk away with the win? Mark Randall holding the best time right now. We'll show you the best times, not the gap time. 53.992 is the time to beat right now. And the 31 of Poston does that as we're talking now. Starsky, Simmer. Pickle Simmer takes the pole position with his last lap. Few cars still not on track. Few cars might not be qualifying. If you are going to qualify, now would be the time. What is up, Mr. Purgatory? Long time no see, my friend. Music's not cooperating with me. Doesn't seem like anybody else is touching the track at this point in time. Austin Merrill on the track right now. Excuse me. Kyler Adams now touching track. Tyler Green. Stephen Elise. Just finishing his qualifying time. Daniel Brannon. About done with his. Daniel Holloway on track. Brianna Laurent just coming out as well. Dalton Gregson just about finishing his times now. Jeremy James in the 73 on track. Jeffrey Bourne finally makes the track. Mike Donnell in the middle of his qualifying time as well, about 2 laps in. Mark Morton finally getting on the field for his time. He puts himself in a 4th place position. That has now pushed Mark Randall all the way down to 9th place. Hancock rounding out your top 10 at this point in time. No one beating Pickle Simmer's time tonight. 53.928. Looks to be setting the pole, as there's only 2 more people that have not went out and qualified. Corey Rainey just touching the track now. And the 9 of Taylor now going to advance all the way to second place. Corey Rainey usually likes to be the last one out, and is literally the third to last out on the track, starting on that high side to get those tires warmed up. Dive down to the bottom line to start your second lap. Hug that apron and set a good qualifying time. We're about to see where the number 4 is going to put himself on the board tonight. Last one on the track other than Jeffrey Bourne and Dalton Gibson. Dalton finishing his qualifying. Dalton Gregson just crossing the line for his second lap. Rainey coming down the last second. Where will he go? Seems to be a 38th start position for the 4 car. Tires warmed up. Bottom line hugging. Here we go. Looks to be the last one to set a qualifying time here tonight, trying to go for a pole right now. Tyler Hurt, Andrew Register not going to touch the track for qualifying. This should do it right here for Rainey. With a pole, 53.910. Just outbeating Pickle Simmer by just a few hundredths of a second. What an insane qualifying. Now switching over to the grid. You see all cars joining on track. Behind the pace truck. Start the rolling turn. And as you watch that insane embankment in turn 3. About a 45-degree embankment in that turn, if I am not mistaken. This will be the area where a lot of the wrecks will wash up to. Of course, if there's a wreck in a corner, it is not going to be good for anybody involved, as that is always where it normally washes up to. So that is one thing to watch out here tonight for the drivers, is literally that high side. You wreck on the bottom, you go all the way up. It has been very apparent and evident before. It is something that always happens. Corey Rainey with the pole time, still waiting to join on track. Probably still have some time to grid. No worries. There he is. throw the grid up on the board and get the ticker off. Corey Rainey with a pole time in first place. Dylan Picklesimmer sitting in second. Sam Taylor going to be qualified in third place. Then, of course, we have Christian Rhodes in fourth. Spencer Teal in the fifth place position. Mark Morton qualified in sixth. Austin Merrill in seventh. And Aaron Starsky in eighth. Todd Poston in ninth place. In 10th, rounding out your top 10 is going to be Eric Rodman. Mark Randall Jr. in the 11th spot here tonight. Then, of course, we're going to have Russ Hancock in 12th. Chris Perry in 13th. Daniel Holloway in 14th position. Gary Breland and Chase Greer side by side. 17th and 18th, Grayson Payton, Dalton Gibson. 19th is Ethan Horst with Trevor Yates. 21st and 22nd goes to Kyler Adams and Mike Donnell. Jeremy James and Robert McRae line up side by side for 23rd and 24th. Josh Riddle, Jeffrey Bourne, 25th and 26th. Tyler Green, James Mandaroo, 27th and 28th. Matt Banky and Brianna Lauren, 29th and 30th. Zach Stevens in 31st. Kevin Leash in 32nd. Noah Davis in 33rd. Alan Hess in 34th position. Daniel Brannon in 35th. Matthew Wilson in 36th with Stephen Alessi, in 37th. Dalton Gregson in 38th. Tyler Hurth in 39th. And rounding out a 40-car field here tonight, Andrew Register. As we get ready to go green here, pace truck comes off. Corey Rainey, your pole sitter, will take us to green flag in the box this time by. And of course, Trading Paint's acting up, so we're going to reset it real quick for the cars. Green flag in the air. Don't mind the reset. Always happens at the end of the season, and I keep forgetting about it every single week. Now you're seeing the actual schemes on most of the cars that haven't updated since they have changed them. Dylan Picklesimmer in the lead currently over Corey Rainey with a huge jump there. First caution out. Probably a bad gear restart somewhere in the rear of the field. We're just going to go ahead and see if we can find it with the yellow flag replay. We're going to watch the back of the field here now. Car off track and a heavy stack up there. You see it about mid-pack for the caution to get thrown. Solid. Appreciate the subscription with Prime. Guys, if you want full non-stop racing action, if you do have Amazon Prime, you have one free sub a month. You will get no ads, no matter what. No matter if it's an ad break, you'll get the side-by-side picture at all times. So make sure, if you can, go ahead and subscribe. Austin Merrill now in the one spot with Starsky in second. Todd Poston in third. Eric Rodman in fourth. Mark Randall rounding out your top five. First caution of the night out here, and we are going to go 25 laps ad-free. Now, most cars down pit road, probably a wise decision for some. 4 car of Corey Rainey in. Todd Poston, Mark Randall, Russ Hancock, Gary Breland, Holloway, Greer, Gibson, Pate, Horst, Kyler Adams. All into pits this time. Corey Rainey dropped all the way down to 29th. Still some drivers coming into pits now. Of course, your current leader back to the front for him. That is Dylan Picklesimmer. I always mess his name up and I feel bad. Mr. Purgatory with the Prime Sub 2 that has started a level 1 hype train, guys. Jump on that hype train if you have the availability to do so. We appreciate all subscriptions, all bits, donations. If you're going to cheer bits, save it. Save the bits this week around. Go ahead and go to the pinned chat and donate to Bristol with her fight against leukemia. Any cheers and bits I get on this stream, including the Prime subs, all of it will go to the GoFundMe once the payout is initiated. Now, of course, Pickle Simmer in first, Sam Taylor in second, Christian Rhodes in third, Spencer Teal now going to move up to fourth place with Austin Morrill rounding out your top five. A lot of cars went in pits, a little bit of gas and go for them. No tires, only one lap so far, 2 and almost 3/4 of a lap now under caution. First caution of the night here for the Talladega day race in the next gen cars. In the choose position, ready to go back green, but not just yet because the pace truck lights are still on. So one more time around the track for these drivers, and we will be back green in just a moment. Of course, if you are just tuning in now, welcome here to the Asphalt Racing Network's presenting the American Stock Car Racing League Super Speedway Series. We are at Talladega today in the next gen cars for 100 laps of pure adrenaline action. 18 laps on the fuel window. That's why you see most of those drivers go down into pits on lap 1. They do not have to worry about tires. There is unlimited sets of tires for them in the pit stalls tonight. Goodyear being pretty generous with the tires. And of course, we will have the stage caution at about lap 50 to give these drivers a break. Go into pits, get that gas, get those tires, and jump back out on track. We appreciate everybody tuning in right now. You guys killed it last week. An insane showing of support for the American Stock Car Racing League as you guys blew the numbers out of the water for their first ever inaugural race here on Asphalt Network and for the league in general. I think currently, right now, that was about up to 200 streams plus. So pat on the back to you guys. You guys absolutely killed it. We're going to see if we can find the numbers now for it. Last stream we had, which was the first stream for them, you guys killed it. 333 views within a full week. So we definitely appreciate all the support you guys are giving for the American Stock Car Racing League, whether you're fans, friends, family, or of course the drivers from the NASCAR 25 side. We appreciate all you guys watching us here do what we love to do best. Pace truck off. Pickle Simmer taking us back to green flag this time. Green flag back out. Pickle Simmer with a good jump again, but this is a draft pack track. So he's not going to be able to jump out too far ahead without being caught back up. You're seeing a little bit of a break here within these first 7 cars. Most likely all trying to get single file. Little bit of a late block there. There is a wreck midfield. Caution is out once again. At least 6 cars involved. And the 98 just took a hard bump from the 24 going backwards off the track. Russ Hancock, Mandarood, Tyler Green, Daniel Brannon, Wilson, and Gregson all involved in that caution. And as we always do, we are going to go back and see exactly what happened to them at that point in time by. Seemed to be just a little bit of a early maneuver and an unfortunate situation. So right here, we're following the 343 Hancock. 24 just got a little bit too high. 31 came back down. 24 got shunted back up into the wall. 83 took a hard nose hit. And then, of course, everybody trying to avoid them as well. All kind of got caught up in the mix. That was Hancock's point of view. We'll see Mandarood's. Mandarood just behind them a little bit, trying to avoid it, and just unfortunately locked up the brakes, spun into the infield, but seems to not have any damage. Then, of course, Tyler Green, the 24 that got spun around, went back down track. And that's why we normally say lock up your brakes if you are wrecking. That could have been avoidable on that inside apron, but unfortunately with the 24 rolling backwards, there was nothing those drivers could have done. Now, of course, the 83 of Daniel Brannon, he got a lot of damage too. And you can tell he's a Labonte fan with that scheme he's got on that car tonight. Matthew Wilson also involved in the wreck. That is the 01. Hit from the 28 from behind. And then hit the 343 of Hancock as well to spin himself out to the bottom. Dalton Gregson as well involved in the caution. That is the 28 down low there on your screen. Hit the 01, just avoided the 24. And I'd like to take it to his view, because he was a little bit farther in the back. So this is what it looked like in the cockpit. Let's go ahead and back it up just a little bit before the wreck. I mean, great avoidance. Really good avoidance there from him. He did everything he needed to do. Downshifted, braked, checked up just to avoid the wreck. A little bit of damage on the car most likely, but not as much as he should have sustained. So, I mean, he might be one of the few best coming out of that situation right there, as he really doesn't have much repair time, if any at all. Of course, one fast repair awarded to drivers. After that, it is a wrap. So you don't want to use it early. You really don't want to use it at all. Oh, we're getting chat to go look at Corey Rainey's in-car cam, so why not? They're still pacing. Let's go look at it. It is not giving me an option to look at the fours in car cam. There it is. A little bit after the wreck. Video feed must have cut out a little bit from for his in-car. Good job holding that bottom side. Making it all the way through the wreck. Thankfully, the wreck didn't wash back up. You saw the 25 wash up the track after the wreck, and that's exactly what I was talking about, or the 24, excuse me. That's exactly what I was talking about would happen. especially in that corner. Any of the corners here with high embankments normally are a recipe for disaster, and normally doesn't work out good in the favor of the cars that had spun or the cars that are trying to avoid it from behind. So kudos to any driver that was actively able to make it through that wreck, because it definitely could have been worse than what it ended up being for most. Now, of course, we probably still have a lot of drivers down in pit road. Of course, we have 40 drivers in total here tonight on the field. That is a big field for a super speedway. But of course, that's just racing. You're going to get wrecks. You're going to get the mishaps. You're going to get self-spins. You're going to get bumper taps, sends up the wall, 3 wides, getting a little bit too close on those 3 wides where stuff happens. It's just racing. It's a part of what they do on the track. Once you suit up, you kind of know what to expect. You just don't know when to expect it. So, of course, early on cautions here. Hopefully, they'll get them out of their system. They'll be able to have a good green flag run. Like we said, only 18 laps of fuel in those cars, so they really don't have much of a run at this point in time to figure out the strategy, how much you can save in the back of the pack in draft. Nor have we really seen them try to start that single file solo line. So still a lot of racing developments that are going to need to be made over a period of time here as the race slowly goes on. But of course, pace truck off once again. Pickle Simmer in the restart zone is the control car. The 88 on the bottom line. Christian Rhodes in the 1 on the outside of him. Austin Merrill in 3rd. Spencer Teal in 4th. Eric Roadman rounding out your top 5. And Pickle Simmer takes the green flag again. Once again with a good jump in the box as he is the control car. But the pack will catch up, and they are. A little bit of a high block there for the 1. 1 and the 80 are going to come down. Single file already in the front. Now let's take a look and see how single file they already are going. Watching the top 5 cars on your screen, going just behind them to 6th of Aaron Starsky. They are slowly but surely getting to a single file line. Big breakup in the pack there. You see it. Backpack all 2x2 right now. Some diving down low. Some trying to get back up. And you have a few stragglers in the back. They're making their way back up there to the top. Of course, 50 laps for stage 1, or technically you can call it stage 2. Pickle Simmer holding the lead pretty strong. About 8 cars in that lead pack in a single file line. Now there's going to be a lot more that are going to join them down there. And now begins the gas strategies. Few 3 wides in the middle. They are 3 wide there in the middle. I believe that is Jeffrey Bourne. Just behind that 3 wide, about 2 car lengths. Looks to be the 12 of Josh Riddle that was in that 3 wide. Filed back out to the low line. Now that backpack starting to go single file too. So they're going to end up catching this lead pack a little bit. They're going to end up catching this front pack a little bit while these guys are slowly starting to fight up here just for a few positions. Nothing too crazy at this point in time, but still a fight this early can be kind of a bad thing to watch. A little bit of a 3 wide there just in front of the 12 car. One up to the wall for just a second, able to maintain it. Looking to that secondary pack, they're starting. Looks like they're actually starting to lose a little bit of time. Most likely not running the cleanest of lines there in the straightaways. They look pretty on point, but of course those corners, everybody runs it differently. Has a different area they want to run. As you see, some move up a little bit too much off that apron compared to what the cars in front are doing. So that's kind of hurting them on being able to catch up. A lot of cars jumping out of the low side, going to the high side, using the draft to get in another 2 or 3 positions at least. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now with this backpack. It is a lot of fighting for positions instead of fighting as a single file pack to catch the front before the fight starts for them all. Right now, looking at that lead pack, that is how you do it. Single file for majority of it. Only 4 cars trying to go high. Daniel Brannon gonna jump to the high side there. Of course, Pickle Simmer still in the lead right now. And of course, our first 25 laps here tonight are ad-free. We're going to add on about 6 more laps because of those first 2 cautions. So lap 31 full laps ad-free, including the cautions. Now you're starting to slowly see that front pack want to fight just a little bit. '71 of Trevor Yates still on that high side, not working out for him. High side not getting the run that they want to have. That's kind of hurting them on the speed. They're slowly falling off per each lap. They're not using enough side draft from the cars on the bottom side. And now you see that secondary pack rolling behind. Most of them have got single file, but you still got a crazy fight for that secondary line. Of course, Zach Stevens is who we're following right now in the 47. Just in front of him is Ethan Horst, Noah Davis, and Daniel Holloway. Mike Donnell is the last in that front pack. Daniel Holloway. Now Chris Perry starting to slowly try to fight as he's in the last position of that front pack right now. There's about a 4.5 second gap between this front pack and the pack behind, being led by Ethan Horst right now. And it is slowly but surely getting worse. These guys keep losing a lot of time to that front pack. It could be a gas strat that I'm not paying attention to nor thinking of. But I mean, honestly, they seem to be running full speed. About 194 miles an hour. They're not hitting 200s in the front of the field. Backpack running about the same. 196s, 188s in these corners. We'll kind of see what they're going on the straights. That'll be able to tell us if they're running full throttle or not. Still following the leader, Horst. He's hitting about 190s, 189s. Same as the rest of the pack, so there's not much of a big position change. But right now, position change indeed, as the 71 of Trevor Yates takes the lead position away from Pickle Simmer, as he most likely dropped back to try to conserve some gas here. Only 18 laps of a fuel run. Now Yates holding on pretty strong to that lead field. Still see that high side line, trying to get under that side draft and kind of push themselves up to the lead, but still really not working 100%. There's a little bit of different lines being ran on that high side. You're seeing some try to use that side draft. And then, of course, a lot of wiggling, trying to follow the leader. And it's like playing a game of telephone. The leader does something, the car behind him does the same thing just a few seconds later, and then everybody's trying to get in that same rhythm. Right now, they're actually in a really good rhythm as you're slowly starting to pull up to the front of the field. .41 of Mike Donnell. Sitting in about 8th place right now. 12 of Riddle rounding out your top 10. Trevor Yates in the lead. Almost lost it there as he went up a little bit high. It looked like Rainey was going to shoot the gap. Just didn't have enough speed to do it. Now all the way on the outside is a solo car, possibly trying to fall to the rear and save some fuel. Bumper to bumper, 1 and 2 are right now. That backpack really falling off right now. Ethan Horst still leading it. They are about I want to say a good 5 seconds, almost 6 whole seconds off from the back car of that field being Alan Hess. And looking back at Horst, they are almost 8 seconds back from the leader of Trevor Yates in this front pack. Pretty big distances between the field. And once again, like I said, possibly a strategy run from that rear pack, as there might be something that they have under their sleeve that the front pack doesn't. We are already getting some pits. Pickle Simmer, Christian Rhodes, Spencer Teal, Perry, Banky, Donald, Jeremy James, Robert McRae, all into pits this time by. And now into the pit stalls. Pickle Simmer going to be the first one to come back out. Yates and Rainey now fighting for the lead. Rainey gets the lead over Yates as the pit cycles are continuing for more drivers. .48 of Jeffrey Bourne, teammate of Corey Rainey, driving just behind, having to go to the high side. His cars start to slowly regain on the field. They still need to pit, most likely. Going to be within the next few laps. They both pitted on lap 1 and 2. Rainey on the first lap, Jeffrey Bourne on the second lap. Now they're going to have Aaron Starkey pass them to take the lead. They're both going to go into pits at the same time there, so good transmission from the drivers. As they're both going to go into pits, they're going to cycle out. Probably not where they wanted to. But with that stage break, that could change a lot for them. They might be able to run a little bit deeper without having to take much gas. But of course, during that stage break, everybody's going to fill up and take fresh tires. Aaron Starkey in first right now. Ethan Horst not too far behind him in second. And the rest of the train, Daniel Holloway, Grayson Pate, Todd Poston, Dalton Gibson, Green, Hancock, Stevens, and Greer, all within top 10. Greer is a little bit broken off. Starsky in this time. Zach Stevens moves up to 8th place now. Gibson sitting in 5 currently. Horst in the lead. Lap 25 of 30 officially this time. Only 2 cautions up to this point in time of the race. But 31 full laps of no commercials. Lap 26 this time by of a 50 for stage 1. 100 for the race. We are about just 1 lap over a quarter through with this race. Horst's last pit cycle was at lap 6. So they're going to have to come soon. Most of all of these drivers pitted at lap 6. The only person that has yet to be in pits is that 24 car of Tyler Green. Now most of that pack comes in this time. Horst, Pate, Holloway, Green as well. All top 9 cars, including the 10th place Matthew Wilson. Which means Christian Rhodes leading this pack now will cycle out to your leader once they pass the line. Pickle Simmer in second, with Spencer Teal in third. Matt Behnke will join them up in the front and 4th, with Jeffrey Bourne rounding out the top 5 as they're starting to pass them in pits now. And most of the cars trying to regain the field, exiting pits. Christian Road gets the lead. Top 5 are as expected. Huge shakeup there. Lap car decided to go low at the last second, almost caused a wreck. Good maneuver from those drivers. Now, Rainey, a lap down, trying to regain the field's draft. Locked up with the teammate of Jeffrey Bourne, who is actively on the lead lap. Good racing so far from these packs. 2 separate packs here. Now say good racing from both packs. Through and through so far, minus the first 2 cautions, of course. It's kind of expected here. Racing does get a little dicey at some points in times, but it's nothing to worry about. Most of these drivers know what to do in times of struggling. Now Jeffrey Bourne going to take the lead because of the help of the 4, his teammate. Jeff not trying to leave his teammate high and dry. But Christian Rhodes going to get a really good run there. Good block from the 48. He's going to have to maintain that low line now. They have too much run for him to go back up. They are bumper locked in the corner, and that can get bad. All it takes is one bad bump on one side, and it's a wrap. Rhodes going to go to the outside. It's going to be a door-to-door fight for the lead right now. Rhodes just got the edge over the 44 of Bourne. Now the 80 of Teal going to be pushing behind the 44 to try to get him back up into that lead position. 4 car of Corey Rainey washed out of that pack to the high side now. 3 wide as he slowly drops back to the back of the front pack. And he's going to have to get in where he can. The rear of the field there. More cars coming into pits. Already a few cars out on the night. 9 of Taylor out earlier. Most likely because of that involvement with the wreck. And of course, the 73 of James out. The 41 of Donnell out. 77 Alish, 25 of Mandarude, Brianna Laurent, and 52 of Register already back in the garages. And unfortunately, their nights have ended really early here. Only lap 31 at this point in time. And there is still a lot of racing action still to go. Christian Rhodes still has the lead. Pickle Simmer in second. Banky now up in third. Bourne still in fourth place after holding the lead for a few laps. Teammate of Corey Rainey not too far behind. He's now pushing his teammate on that high side. They're going to have to dive in low, at least one of them, or they're going to have to cycle to the back there. No room for them to run. We've seen Bourne do it time and time again. Throughout all of last week during Daytona Speed Week, they are able to use that high side to a really good advantage. Now that is going to be Spencer Teal trying to send it 3 wide there and push Rainey up out of the way. Jeffrey Bourne decides to go up with Teal, making it a 3 wide situation. Christian Rhodes goes back down, so that is going to leave the 80 outside high and dry. And the 2 teammates, the 2 Fords, are going to stay locked in together. It looks like Jeffries might be able to clear for the lead. Probably very close, though. Not yet. Teammate having to back out a little bit. Jeffrey trying to use as much side draft as possible to bring himself back up into the lead. Lap 33 right now out of 50 for the first stage break, and it is a dogfight in the front of the pack. Now Bourne and Rhodes door-to-door for the lead. Lines are starting to get about even up here. 1 extra car on the bottom, then on the top side. Bourne's going to be able to get the lead. Will he go down low? He looks like he's trying to make it clear for his teammate, but it's just not going to happen. Both of them actively are clear. Both drop low. Bourne gets the lead back. Lap 35, that time past the line. And with that, Jeffrey Bourne currently in the lead. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we will be back in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere.
Did you know Toyota has 3 NASCAR Cup teams? We got Team 2311, owned by this guy, and 3-time Daytona winner Denny Hamlin. But Denny Hamlin races for another team, Joe Gibbs Racing. Yeah, Super Bowl winning head coach Joe Gibbs. And they both share the track with Legacy Motor Club, co-owned by 7-time Cup champ Jimmy Johnson. 3 epic teams, 4 legendary owners, all going after 1 cup. Now you're up to speed. You in?
Hendrick.
Summer is here and you've got places to go.
She's headed to a golf tournament.
This one's headed to the beach.
And he's headed to a music festival.
And they know every good road trip starts right here.
At Hendrick Automotive Group.
We'll check your battery, tire pressure, top off your fluids,
Check your cooling system.
And do a multi-point inspection.
extending the life of your vehicle, and keeping you safe anywhere you want to go.
For free.
Just make sure you're road ready.
All good road trips start here.
Book your road ready appointment today at hendrickcars.com.
Last year, Ram killed the Hemi V8, and people had opinions. The same people that killed the Hemi sent me out here with these comments. That's not happening. We own it, we got it wrong, and we're fixing it. You hear that? That's our Hemi, and it's saying, I'm back.
Did he say what I think he said? That thing's got a Hemi!
Hell yeah, it does. You want more? Buckle up. Ram's coming back to NASCAR. Let's go. We're back in America's motorsport. The Hemi's back, and we ain't going anywhere.
I want to taste your banana pudding. You taste my banana pudding.
It's on. It's on.
I was going to say, will you marry me?
Is my makeup messy? Yes, it's messy.
We are back from commercial break. You saw it there. If you had a Twitch premium subscription, you saw the side-by-side action. Lead pack we were following before the commercial break all went into pits. You saw Pickle Simmer fight for that lead against Christian Rhodes and Jeffrey Bourne. Now Pickle Simmer sitting in about currently 13th position after that pit cycle. Christian Rhodes still just in front of him in 12th. Now the current leader of this race is the 21 of Daniel Holloway, 4 car of Corey Rainey, and the 44 of Jeffrey Bourne. Still linked up together. Jeffrey Bourne now into pits, as well as Corey Rainey. Hopefully their strategy pays out for them in the long run and they have a really good one set up. Otherwise, it could bite them when it couldn't have, if that makes sense to you. If they stayed out a little bit longer or just possibly had a different run, it could have impacted their race. We're going to have to figure that out, where they're going to cycle out back to, of course, when these leaders pit as well. There's 8 to go left in stage before the stage break at lap 50. These guys in the front haven't pitted since lap 26. So they are most likely going to be into pits at this point in time, which most likely could put Jeffrey Bourne as the leader. He has pitted at lap 42. And he is currently sitting in about 10th, just behind Aaron Starkey and Dalton Gibson. Dalton Gibson hasn't pitted since lap 26 as well. So if these guys have to go in, it's going to be a crazy situation. They should make it to about lap 44 without draft. With them having the draft, probably could prolong their laps a lot longer than what we're expecting. 21 of Holloway goes into pits this time. Poston as well. Pate and Horst all in pits. Zach Stevens stays out on the track with Chase Greer just behind Russ Hancock. And then just a little bit behind them is going to be Aaron Starkey. Dalton Gibson now into pits as well. Starkey going into pits. Christian Rhodes fighting back where they were before with Jeffrey Bourne, and the 4 still locked to that bumper of the 44. Pickle Simmer gonna drop to the bottom just in front with 6 to go. This is most likely the pack that is going to finish in the lead. Little bit of a problem there. He actually maintained it and saved it. Unfortunately, couldn't hold it too long. They were able to save that for just a bit of time. Third caution out. They're possibly going to come back with 3 laps of racing. 3 to 2 laps before the stage break. Lap 45 this time for the leader as they just crossed the line. Now, of course, we know exactly where that caution came from. Let's go ahead and go back. Looking at the 44 here. Came up. He tried to maintain it on him. He actually saved him. And then I think just a bad bump from the 4 from behind just caused the situation. That flips. There is a barrel roll in the air for the 3 car. That is Alan Hess on his hood. Good Lord. We're going to look at that one more time. Man, what a bad wreck there. Cockpit view of the 3. I mean, they had it saved. It was just a bad bump from the rear as all of that was going on. Slides on the hood past the start-finish line. And at that point, because of the straight impact dive to the outside wall, car was just most likely done with. Still seems to be running, but of course, nowhere he really could have went and jumped himself to pits. With all those cars going by, it was a bad situation for him to try to regain the track. Now, that is going to hurt Jeffrey Bourne's opportunity at the stage win. He would have been fighting a pretty good battle there with the leaders. Now in the lead at the point in time of the caution, Daniel Holloway, Todd Poston, Grayson Pate, Ethan Horst, and Christian Rhodes rounding out your top 5. And if you are just tuning in, you just missed one hell of a wreck. First barrel roll wreck here in the American Stock Car Racing League. While they're still pacing, we'll go ahead and show it one more time for anybody that just might be tuning in. About 4 cars involved in that wreck, the worst one being Alan Hess. Contact with the 44, they saved it. Then he got pinched into the wall and barrel rolled it, almost going as high as the catch fence. An entire car length above everybody. He is literally, someone could have driven right under that car at that time, and that is a very scary situation to be in. Kind of want to go back a little bit, go to Rainey's point of view, and look at the cockpit here. 3 car just on the outside. That's just an insane sight to have to see in the car just in front of you. But that is going to be the 3rd caution of the night out right now. Possibly the worst wreck I have seen in my broadcasting career. Now, I've seen some pretty bad last lap wrecks, but that one might have to just take the cake there. I feel like that was a really, really bad wreck. 3 car possibly down and out for the night now due to that wreck. I believe he is still in pits and has not come out yet. So that is not a good situation. Not a good situation to be in. No, there he is. He's finally back out on track. 4 minutes in pits. 4 minutes, 21 seconds in pits. Which means he used the tow, which gives you about 3 minutes plus to get you back to pit road before they can actually start working on the car. And most likely a fast repair. So he will be back on the field. We are going green now. Daniel Holloway is your leader in the 21 Cookies and Cream Hershey's. Is a candy stack top 2 right now. Hershey Kisses on the outside. Hershey cookies and cream on the inside. And they are both door-to-door fighting for the lead. Todd Poston going to be able to get around. Currently has the lead, but here comes Horst once again. Door-to-door as Poston dives low. Pickle Simmer now in about third, fighting for fourth. Currently just has his nose above to be sitting in third. Unfortunately, might not last too long here. Really good racing in the front of this pack for the lead fight. A little bit of a bump to the 15 on the low side. You're seeing a really good fight from this front pack right now. And of course, Starkey sitting in about 12th in the pack right now. Mark Morton back in the secondary pack. There is about a 3-second difference right now, about 4 now, to the front. And another huge wreck out. 21 involved this time. Daniel Holloway still toting it around on the apron. Doesn't seem to have much damage. But still something you don't want to have. Now let's go back to the wreck. See exactly what happened. Now right here. 7 just got a little bit too low. Christian Rhodes was the one that sent him around. So the 7 there just dove too low. I don't know exactly what happened with the 7 car. Christian had nowhere to go as he was being bumped already. And then, of course, that just kind of washed everybody else up. And at 21 gets turned. The 5 slightly gets into the 21 there. Then, of course, you have the Oreo 343 car. Getting into some unlucky situations on the outside line. Feel like the 7 got it the worst out of everybody. 7 of Grayson Pate. So that time, not too many cars actually involved in that caution. That's a good thing for not even just the field, but for all of them, to be honest with you. Looking through, I mean, we're only on lap 51. We just came back from stage break. We have another 50 full laps to go. So with this being at this point in time, a lot of cars have been in certain wrecks. I wouldn't say the worst of wrecks, but it's kind of now pick or choose. Most of these cars that have some damage, if it's not affecting the wheel or the toe link on these vehicles, do you really go in and fix that damage, or do you kind of just sit idly by and just practically wait and see if there's any more damage? I mean, of course, it might slow you down a little bit. You might be way off pace. But as long as you're able to stay in that draft Do you risk going in and actually taking that fast repair right now at a very pivotal point in the race where you're going to end up possibly needing it in the later stages? That's like the biggest situation right now that I don't think many people are truthfully thinking of. I mean, of course, coming from an outside perspective, it is a little tricky. It gets pretty hard having to fight, especially for your position. But overall, it gets even harder having to fight while you have damage. Of course, now choose cone this time by. After we do choose cone, we will be back green flag racing. That is something a lot of these drivers are ready for. It's those long green flag runs. We haven't seen many so far. It's just an unfortunate situation. But this is a part of the racing. 3 and 34 are going to be able to get around the pace and the leaders as they were out before them. Tyler Green in the 71 will be your control car with the the 24 of Tyler Green will be your control car with the 71 of Yates on the high side. I said that absolutely backwards. But I think you guys get the gist. Yates on the low side for the restart this time by. Chase Greer sitting in third. Dylan Picklesimmer in fourth. Zach Stevens rounding out your top 5. And we are about back to racing action. And of course now, as always, ready to go back green in the restart zone. '71 is your control car. And will be the leader, choosing when to go in that restart box. If you're unfamiliar with racing, that blue and white box we just passed is the restart zone. Anywhere within that box, on the leader's discretion, you are able to jump and start your time. As soon as you hit the gas, the green flag will be out. So, of course, leader does normally get a better jump time compared to anybody else, due to the simple fact that they don't, well, let me say that correctly. They know when they're jumping. Everybody else around them doesn't. Unless it is a teammate of yours and there's communication on when you're going, you really don't know when that car is going to start rolling. So it makes it a little difficult for some to really gauge that restart. We've seen it a lot of times before. They have got to the point where there's a really big gap out in the beginning, and then it all slowly comes back together maybe about a half a lap through. Not even a half a lap through. Lights on, the pace truck off this time. We will be going back green. There's a little bit of a view of the insane embankments these drivers have to deal with in these corners. We're going to watch the restart from the control car, the 71 of Trevor Yates. In this blue box on the left-hand side of your screen, he gets to go at his pleasing. It's also marked on the right-hand side of the box, too. Green flag, he starts in about middle way of the box. And there's that big jump, but of course, super speedway racing, they're gonna catch up to you pretty quick here. Still 45 laps to go. It is still very early in this one. You're already seeing a fight for the lead. Chase Greer in first place now. Zach Stevens in second, overtaking Trevor Yates in the 71. Now Dylan Picklesimmer sitting in about fourth. Moved down to fifth now as Ethan Horst takes that fourth position. And we've already seen one hell of a fight from these drivers in this front pack all night so far, and it's going to continue is what it looks like. Looking at your 10th place driver right now, Aaron Starkey. Him and Grayson Pate are switching those positions. Grayson on the high side there. They are a staggered 3 wide. Almost caused a wreck. That was a 71 of Trevor Yates. 3 wide just behind. Very interesting lines here, 2 by 2. We haven't really seen much of a single file through and through. And of course, multiple different drivers running multiple different strategies, so that's probably the case here tonight as well. Not everybody's going to be linked up. There's a 3 wide start to form on the outside. Seeing the leader dive back and forth, trying to block the line. The 71 is going to get clear on the outside. They're going to go 2 wide to the top side of the track. 24 is going to make an advancement too. They are staggered 3 wide. '71 ran out of room. Trevor Yates just went from second all the way down to 15th. Good fighting from the back of the pack. Trevor Yates still in 14th, having to really pick it back up now. Dylan Picklesimmer and Aaron Starkey fighting for the lead currently. Racing doing most of the talking itself here. 41 more laps to go. And it has been great stage racing. Now you're seeing the single file start to slowly come back out and redevelop with these leaders. But it's not going to last for long. Another caution out on the field. Believe that was the 11 of Gary Breland, driving the 23 paint scheme on your screen. Was involved in that wreck. Bad situation to be in. Caution at a lap 41 once again. And of course, with that caution, we are going to head to a quick commercial break. For our Twitch Premium subscribers, you will see picture-in-picture. We will throw that replay of the race on as well. We will be back in just a few moments. Don't go nowhere.
Experience the world's most legendary racing events with iRacing. iRacing special events allow any member to compete in full-length multiplayer races based on some of the biggest events in motorsports all year round. Compete in virtual endurance races such as the Daytona 24, Spa 24, and the Nürburgring 24 Hours. Take on some of the toughest races on the NASCAR schedule, such as the Daytona 500. We have events from disciplines all across the racing world, from the Indianapolis 500 to the Chili Bowl, from the Bathurst 1000 to the Crandon Championship. Our endurance special events utilize iRacing's team feature, where members can sign up and race together on their own team, swapping drivers throughout the race. Other events utilize iRacing Super Sessions, where you're not only racing against those on track, but against every driver taking part. And as every race progresses, watch and feel the track change with progressive time of day, dynamic weather and rain, and dynamic track debris and surface changes. Take on your favorite discipline or try a brand new racing challenge with our biggest races of the year, the iRacing Special Events. Learn more at iracing.com/special-events.
lane.
The after-jets are winning. Don't count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
What a victory this will be. Next flag is going to end. Does he have enough? A dominant performance. They're going to say no, baby. Let's go.
You gotta earn this thing.
It is all on the table.
We are just coming back from caution. And if you weren't subscribed, you are now officially back from the ad break as well. Caution still out. It was on the 11. And that was a little bit of a crazy situation there. 11 is running the 23 Scheme Xfinity of Bubba Wallace. We'll go back and show you one more time exactly what happened to Gary Breland as they're going to go green. Maybe it won't. There we go. Wreck out on the front stretch. Solo spin. He went. Now the 11 sitting at 27th. Regaining with the field now. Fifth caution of the day so far. And if you're still here, we appreciate you hanging out with us on a beautiful Monday. Hopefully time change isn't screwing with you too much. Kind of threw me off a little bit this morning waking up for work, but it is what it is. Pace lights are off, signaling we are going back to green flag. This time by, it is still not too early to throw your race picks in the chat. Throw some numbers or names in the chat of who you want to win today, or who you think might pull off the victory. Now, Eric Rodman in first place in the restart zone on him is going to be taking us back to green. Green flag out. 37 more laps to go here. Pickle Simmer in now the lead with a huge run on that high side. Pickle Simmer, Christian Rose have been fighting almost this entire race to hold this lead down. They're doing a really good job at, fortunately, trying to do as best as possible. Of course, slightly dangerous racing. Two teammates on the track, Sam Taylor as well, a teammate in the 9. 9 not on the field tonight. No, excuse me. No, the 9 is on the field. He is sitting currently in 11th place. Not too far back from the team. Pickle Simmer and Christian doing as much as they possibly can. Trying to hold that top side together. Now there's a good run from the 47 on the high side, but Pickle Simmer's going to put his nose back in there, close that gap for him to get low. Now the 47 is going to have to fight for it all over again on the high side. The cleaner you are in that high side line, the better it can be. Of course, we're not seeing the same results we saw at Daytona, where that high line was pushing you around with ease. They're able to get that jump in, but they're not able to hold it for long. The 15 not going to be able to jump in there. He's going to lose position. Now he's going to be fighting with the 47. 47 checked up real strong to possibly let the 15 down low. Little bit of a bump from the 88 to Pickle Simmer. Nothing too crazy. Now Simmer going to go to the outside. Rhodes going to be on the bottom. Looking to try to control both lines is what it looks like now. Rhodes is going to get in there and just spun out Pickle Simmer to the inside wall. No caution that time. Simmer not down and out though. Car still good. Now Simmer on the field all the way in the back by himself. And that is not a good situation there. Getting spun out by your teammate, not the best of any worlds. Not where you expect to be. We're going to have to back that up just a little bit more for you to see exactly what happened there that time. 88 jumps to the high side. Remember, we are still green. One gives him just a little bit of a bad tap. You see the air flaps come out, doing a good job holding that car on the ground, not letting it flip. Lightly love taps the wall and is now driving in 29th position by himself. Teammate, the number 1, Christian Rhodes, sitting on the bottom side. Rhodes was your winner for the 500. As long as I'm correct, it's been a long Daytona week last week. Five live coverage races of Daytona last week. Now we're moving on, and thankfully all leagues have different schedules except for 2 hot Atlanta races. One this Thursday in the trucks, and of course one on Saturday. Ooh, not good situation. Kyler Adams going to wreck out there a little bit too. Yellow came out. Go ahead and look back to that yellow. .25 walked away from it, possibly the best. Little bit of a door tap right there. Almost came back up on track, but thankfully no one was there. Now, caution out again here. Sixth caution of the night. It's getting more interesting now to see who is going to be able to actually take this win away. We've had a few good green flag pit stops. But of course, it hasn't been too long of a pit stop, so unfortunately not really able to get the runs. We've seen green flag runs, of course, but these last 50 laps have kind of been unforgiving for some of these drivers now, as they haven't been able to make much out of what they're given with. Of course, we at ARN and American Stock Car Racing League appreciate all 16 of you hanging out in here right now with us. If you haven't checked the pinned message in the chat, that is a link to help donate to Bristol's fight to cure leukemia. She's just 2 years old and has been diagnosed with leukemia. But all donations will help that little girl with her needs to get through this tough time. Of course, just consider a possible donation if you can. It is not mandatory, but anything will help out. $4,430 have been donated out of a goal of $5,089. % of the way there, and it is getting closer and closer by the day. So if you can, make sure you check it out, and even $1 will help the fight. Now, of course, with the caution and the pit cycles, 71 of Trevor Yates will be your leader. Zach Stevens in second place. Christian Rhodes in third. Russ Hancock in fourth. And Ethan Horst rounding out your top 5. Just outside of your top 5, you had Chase Greer in the 40. Todd Poston in the 31 in 7th. Grayson Pate in the 7. Spencer Teal in 9th. And in the 17, rounding out your top 10, Dalton Gibson. Seems like we are getting ready. 44 Jeffrey Bourne in pits now. Believe he's the only one to jump to pits. Gary Breland in there for about a minute, just going down to pits now, or exiting, excuse me. Austin Morrill now joining Jeffrey in pits. Alan Hess on track. Daniel Brannon still in pits. Working that damage off. 6 minutes and 40 seconds already for Brandon in pits. Brandon will come back out a few laps down. But the way it's looking right now, anything is possible, and he might be able to get some back, depending on how far down and out he possibly is. Now, of course, control car, the 7188's on the bottom side, will go back green this time once the pace truck makes the left-hand turn. Now back in the restart zone will be the 7188s on the low hand side. Everybody closing down those gaps, waiting for the throttle. Oh, hold on. Pace truck might be still out. It's going to be a delayed. Looks like we might have had an extra accident in the back of the field there. Wreck under caution. Huge stack up under caution. Well, that stack up under caution is going to extend the caution. Now, while we're waiting for them to go around again, let's look at our broadcast schedule here on Asphalt Racing Network. Of course, you guys are here on the Twitch channel for American Stock Car Racing League on Mondays, 9:05 for your green flag. Ride Time is here on Wednesdays as well for the ARCA Series, second season for them. Thursdays is the season 1 for the Truck Series. Wednesday night, we will be at The Rock. Thursday, it is Hot Atlanta, baby. Then, of course, the NARS Truck and Cup Series. Fridays and Saturdays, 8:45 Eastern for your green flag. That is a dual stream. You can find us here on Twitch and on YouTube at the same time. And boy, oh boy, that was an insane Daytona race last Saturday. If you missed it, you need to go back and rewatch it. It's about a 5-hour stream, 200 laps, pure Daytona racing, and an insane finish where my rookie driver had crossed the line in the lead and got his first crown jewel, first victory. Back to green flag now, 28 more laps to go here for the American Stock Car Racing League's Super Speedway Series. Trevor Yates is in the lead, Christian Rhodes in second, Zach Stevens in third, Ethan Horse now in fourth with Hancock rounding out your top five. You're already seeing that single file run on the bottom side starting to form. High side action now. There's a lot of cars up there. They're having to group up together. Can possibly make a run, but you're going to see two cars from that high side drop down to the low line. Now three. That top side just lost a lot of momentum. They are about 3 wide. And about line 5. All 4 top 5 cars are in a single file line. Now all top 6 single file behind Yates. Yates, the control car for the bottom. You're seeing an insane move. They're trying to get the line to work around Yates. Christian Rhodes now going to push up to first. Rhodes won last week, trying to do it again with 26 more laps to go. 15 of Ethan Horst is currently in second place. A lot of diving from a lot of these cars. Two by two action now here up in the front, a little bit of 3 wides in the back. Those 3 wides are going to start slowing down just a little bit there. That is the 9 of Sam Taylor that had a 3 wide at one point in time. Dives back into the bottom side, just in front of Leash leading the second pack of the race, about almost 3 full seconds behind that last car in the front back, which is Matt Benke and Mark Morton fighting it out. They are 3 wide racing here. It is getting dicey. Chase Greer in the 40, now your leader, but Christian Rhodes seems to try to be dwindling that gap away. Wants the lead back for himself, needs the lead back to go back-to-back here. So has 24 laps to go. Greer going to dive to the bottom. Zach Stevens going to stay up high, no room to get back down. And now it is a really good fight for the lead here. Something we expected at Dega, something we expect at all super speedway tracks. And of course, you are now seeing it here live. Showing you a race recap at this point in time. Christian Rhodes at lap 77 is your leader. 24 more to go. We've had 6 cautions for 19 laps and 19 lead changes. Caution back out in the backfield. And that is not going to be a good one. 7th caution of the night. Now we need to figure out where it came from. Trying to find the caution. The yellow was thrown. The Phantom of the Opera yellow seems to have struck. I cannot find the caution. It is not reporting that any driver crashed or slowed down either, so very confused. No drivers have went off track, no drivers jumped to pits. Lap 77 going to 78 when they cross the line in pits. Three-quarters of the way done here. Mark Randall saying it was on him. I am scared to see what Randall did. But of course, we're going to go watch it. There is a lot of blinking. Not getting a feed from Randall at all. The caution was already out. There it is. A little bit of some ghosting action. He spun erect. We have figured out where the caution was. Now the confused manufacturer car going to rejoin the field. Dente scheme on a Ford with a Toyota number. If it ain't something, it's something. While they're doing their double file, we're going to go to a quick ad from our affiliates. Not a commercial break. So we will stick around, check out our affiliate sponsor spot. as they go back in the restart zone there. Good jump from McRae. He was the control car. 20 more laps to go here. The Talladega Day Race and the Next Gen Cars for American Stock Car Racing League Super Speedway Series. And you just saw an affiliated sponsor break there from the NARIS Cup and Truck Series. Without NARIS, Asphalt Racing Network would not be a thing. That was our first start at broadcasting here on iRacing. And now we are three leagues deep, 5 days a week. So, of course, we always have a spot in our hearts for NARIS, as they have gave us and led us to where we are today. A little bit of a crazy move there. You saw it almost look like they were going to dive to the bottom. Not this time. Jeremy James in the lead. Christian Rhodes now got first place on the high side. 19 laps to go. Christian Rhodes trying to go back to back, just like he did last week. First win of the season at Daytona. Trying to get the second one now. He's been a really good runner in the front of the pack at this point in time, especially with his teammate Pickle Simmer. He is sitting in 16th place right now. Not too far behind, still on lead lap. Also locked up with their teammate in the 9, Sam Taylor. So if they can push themselves to the front, they really have some good advantages. Trying to get their driver possibly another win. Christian Rhodes back to the lead now. He has led 15 laps of this race so far out of 100. Not the most dominant driver on track to most likely lead the most laps tonight. But of course, Horst just behind. He has only led 5 laps. Grayson Pate still has led just 1 lap. Todd Poston has not led a lap yet, still in the top 5, has his opportunity to. And of course, Trevor Yates rounding out your top 5. He has led 11 laps as well. So only one person within this top 5 has not led a lap so far in this race. Could he get that lap led under his belt now, or will it be at the white flag? Now remember, white flag comes out. There are no more cautions. If there was a wreck to happen, whoever can cross the line first will get the win. So that is going to be the biggest thing to watch out for. Most likely the driver's biggest thing to watch out for as well is that last lap around the track under white flag conditions, because that's when it gets a little bit dicey, a little bit competitive, and a little over the edge sometimes for most. Ethan Horst now in the lead with Pate behind, Poston in third, Yates in the 71 in fourth, and Jeremy James there in fifth. Christian Rhodes now sitting in a comfortable 7th position, but look at that. Teammates back to back. Pickle Simmer not too far behind in 9th place on the bottom line. Now in the top side, 1, 2, and 3 teammates. 6th or 8th, 9th, and 10th. Well, excuse me. 5th, 6th, and 8th. Now that they're packed up like I kind of figured they would be, they're going to try to make their run to the top of that pack. Leader being Ethan Horst. Christian Rhodes about 1 position away from getting the lead back for himself. Kind of a little bit of a lackluster run there, not able to get it early right then and there. Still many laps left to go, so no worries on that. Comfortable and cool in the front of that pack is Horst right now. Not worried, still worrying. So not worried about the drivers on the outside. as he is not trying to overdrive his lines. But of course, 8th caution out now. Lap 85. It's going to burn off at least another 2 to 3 laps. Tough break, tough situation. Seems that Sam Taylor was involved in the wreck that time by. Oh, we need to go back a little bit earlier for Sam. Where did Sam's misfortune happen? We're just going to have to manually back it up. Looks like he just got out of draft. Ooh, that seems to be a blown engine. Blown engine or transmission for Sam Taylor. He is a part of Slightly Dangerous Racing. Now they're going to be down a teammate. Tough situation there. Now, of course, at the time of the caution, pit cycle is now starting. Kevin Leash going to be in the lead with just a few more laps to go. Matt Banky in second, Eric Rodman in third. Taylor Green in fourth with Aaron Starkey rounding out your top 5. And of course, they are going to go choose cone this time by. Still a tough situation for that 9 car. Bad time to blow an engine or transmission. Get all the way to the end of the race just to have some misfortune. Very, very sad situation. Now, Slightly Dangerous Racing is going to be down 1 teammate for the rest of the night due to a blown engine. Will they be able to dig deep and go back to back? Christian Rhodes currently sitting in 7th place with Pickle Simmer in 8th place. Lap 87 and 3/4 this time by. And of course, we will be back green once the pace car gets off the track. Like I said, biggest eyes right now are going to be on this 1 car. He's currently sitting 2nd in points. Holloway is your leader on points. Not by too many, though. He's just, and I mean just, in front of points. Believe there's a difference of 1 point. Holloway has 47. Rhodes has 46. With 1 win under the belt so far. Trying to do it all over again here today. Lap 88.5 now. 3 more laps cut off of this race due to caution. And folks, we are literally a follower away from hitting 200. So if you haven't followed yet, click that follow button. Be the 200th follower here on the Twitch channel. Soup, appreciate the follow. Thank you for letting us hit 200. And look at you. Now you got something to brag about. 200th follower here for the channel. Pace car off. That time by means Kevin Leash going to be in the restart zone as the control car on the bottom side. Green flag out. Kevin Leash, Matt Banky. Banky going to pass the line, most likely go low, and does. Now Roadman's going to stay low as well. Here comes Christian Rhodes on the outside line. 24 of Tyler Green just in front. Getting a little dicey there. Everybody trying to use side drive to catch back up. 11 more laps to go. Anything's possible. 7 around. There's going to be another crash. Christian Rhodes involved in that crash as well. And another huge stack up in the back of the field with Dylan Picklesimmer. So now slightly dangerous racing in a worse situation. No video feed. Anybody else having issues with a video feed, please let me know in chat. Everything seems to be good on my end. Might have to close out and rejoin. Could be a situation on your side. Now with that caution being out, when we go back green, there's only going to be 7 laps left. Of course, huge wreck there. Multiple cars involved, starting with the 7. I feel like Christian Rhodes got the worst of it. Good Lord, he was just able to maintain it. Came real close to the wall too. No problems for him. Of course, Daniel Holloway involved in it as well. Mark Randall Jr. seems to be involved in it as well. Christian came up the track, went back down, and unfortunately hit into Mark. Tough situation for a lot of drivers. Hopefully Mark doesn't have or hasn't used that fast repair. If he has enough damage, he should be able to replace it or repair it. Still a tough situation to deal with. Man is literally typing while driving. This guy. Caution 9 on the night. We are at lap 92 under caution. Kevin Leash in the lead. Now it's possibly trying to get to a very dangerous point in the race. These last few laps are going to be very aggressive, considering a lot of drivers are trying to put themselves in a better finishing position for points, possibly go for the win, or just are trying to drive no matter where they are on the track to get up as high as possible for the the stage points or just points in general, like I said. So this is where the racing is going to get very interesting, because we truthfully don't know who's going to make it, who's going to wreck out, or exactly how many will be involved if there is another wreck. Pace car off this time. Kevin Leash in the 77 on the bottom line is going to be your control car. Banky on the outside. Roadman, Starkey, and Green all round out your top 5. Now here they come door to door for the restart zone. Hopefully the last time tonight. Green flag back out. 8 more laps of racing action to go here. Kevin Leash in the lead. Eric Roadman not too far behind. Already single file, big pushing from the front of the field here. When are we going to start seeing these top line breakaways? You're already seeing it right now. 48 Chase Greer pushing the 35 of Banky, and Gary Breland now back up in the top 6. The racing will talk for itself here practically. 40 Greer gets the position on the high side right now. Another wreck in the back is what it looks like. Caution out again. Huge stack up in the field. That is going to kill a lot of drivers' times tonight. That will be a 3-lap shootout when we come back from the caution. Before we get to that green lap shootout, we're going to take our last commercial break of the night. Twitch Premium subscribers will go side by side for the caution. We will be back in 3 minutes. Don't go nowhere. And we are back from the last commercial break of the night. You just saw it, huge stack up with the last 7 laps to go here at the Talladega day race. Now it is going to get to the tricky part of the night. Like I just said, you're going to see a lot of the aggression. You're going to see a lot of situations where drivers are going to try to put themselves in a good position to either win or get the highest finish possible for themselves on the night. An insane amount of cars were just taken out there for the 10th caution of the night. Now, Chase Greer is going to be your leader for this caution. Going back to green, he will be the control car. Gary Breland in the 11th in second. James Manderud in the 25 will be third. Daniel Holloway in the 21. In fourth, Tyler Green in the 24 in fifth, rounding out your top 5 at this point in time. The pace lights are off, signifying green flag is just moments away. In an unfortunate situation, as now our last week winner of Christian Rhodes, sitting all the way in 21st with just 3 laps left, with his teammate of Pickle Seimer just behind, will possibly not be able to go back to back due to a unforeseen wreck that, of course, he was involved in. It really didn't gain any positions on him there. Kind of hurt him a little bit. So now that is where he's going to have to be at. He's going to have to fight pretty hard for positions here, as we're going to hit 98 laps this time by. Once we go back green and they pass the line, Chase Greer in the 40 in a really good position to be sitting in right now, as long as there are no wrecks on the high side. This could be either his or the 11 of Gary Breland. Now Greer back in the restart zone. This time we'll start the last possible caution of the night. Green flag back out. Chase Greer in the lead currently, holding on to his position for dear life as this race is slowly coming to an end. Beautiful view right there of them going into turn 1. Greer still in the lead on the bottom line. Breland trying to get the run on the high side. They are 3 wide in line 4 already. Greer getting a little bit of a tap, having to block 3 lines now. Not going to work. Another wreck out in the backfield. That is Todd Poston that just makes it through. Another caution is out. Russ Hancock, I believe, was the driver who spun around. 343. Jeffrey Bourne able to manage to get around that. That was pretty close there. Hancock probably doesn't have much damage on the car, but he's going to have enough now to deal with from the back of the pack. He is all the way in 21st position at this point in time. If he has to go into pits, he's going to drop a few more. But this is end stage racing for you. Chase Greer, of course, at the time of the caution, was and is still your leader. Now is the time we're starting to get pretty intense. Matter of fact, I feel like we've already passed the point of pretty intense. It is on. It is very intense for a lot of these drivers. Bragging rights on the line. Points on the line. Stats on the line for wins. There's a lot up in the air right now. And no one really has the momentum other than Chase Greer. If Chase can keep this lead position, we waste all of our green-white checkers to where another caution can't come out. That is going to benefit him. But I mean, honestly, looking at the board right now, Greer has last pitted at lap 87. He should still be good on fuel runs per calculations. He should have about 13 laps left in the tank. So he might be able to close this race out in front as long as everything goes good and works out for him to a T. That is going to be the problem, though. We've seen it already the last three to four cautions have all been from 3 wide incidents or just people trying to dive a little bit too early compared to when they need to be. So now that we are getting to the first green, white, checkered, is it going to be the same situation again? Of course, already hitting lap 100 that time by. But with the green, white, checkered, that allows them to add a few more laps to the race to be able to get it done. Now looking at your race recap, we were on lap 101 of 103, so 3 laps over if it finishes on this green, white, checkered. Chase Greer still in the lead. Of course, the leader at the time of the caution and will be the leader at the time of the restart. We've had 11 laps for 33 cautions and 23 lead changes in total on the night. So now more than a quarter of the race has been ran under caution. Greer goes back to the bottom for the choose cone. Something we didn't show earlier, this is the weather here. As you see, beautiful sunny skies, clear skies here in Talladega. 74% humidity, 70 degrees Fahrenheit in the air with only 2-mile-per-hour winds. And they are wavering to about 2 to 0 mile per hour winds, so the wind has really not been a factor on these cars here tonight. Of course, we've seen one go airborne, do a crazy barrel roll. That was the 3 car. 3, of course, of Alan Hess still on the track, sitting in about 26th position. Thanks to that fast repair. If he didn't have that, he would have already been out way earlier in this race. Multiple laps behind due to the fact that he wouldn't be able to finish. But because of that fast repair, he was able to do something that most other leagues would give you an opportunity to do, and that is to rerun for the lead after a big wreck by being able to use that fast repair. Now the pace truck lights are off, which means we are going back green, hopefully for the last and final time here of the Talladega Day Race. Pace truck off one more time. 40 of Greer taking us to green flag in the box. 2 Chevys in the top 5, and he is one of them right now. Green flag back out. And another wreck. Ford got pinched there 3 wide, had nowhere to go. 77 kept coming down on the top of him. And that's exactly what happens. Tough situation there, man. Tough situation once again. Blake, I do not get paid by the hour. Might have to switch the rates. 5-hour Daytona race on Saturday. That was like the icing on the cake for Daytona week. That was pretty tough. That race did not end until about 1 in the morning. Chase Greer still in the lead. Choose cone this time by. While we're at it, I have not shown our ARN partnered affiliate yet, so in the meantime, you guys are familiar with Whatnot. Most of you guys are familiar with Whatnot. Let's go check out ARN's Whatnot partnership.
Welcome to VMT Collectibles, your pit stop for premium collectibles. We specialize in authentic 118, 124, and 164 scale die-cast cars from top brands like NASCAR, NHRA,
Where's that
Hot
Bass Pro
Wheels,
at?
ERTL, GMP, and Auto World. From rare chase pieces to limited edition releases. But we are more than just die-cast. Explore our curated section of retro video games, action figures, and hard-to-find collectibles that fuel nostalgia and passion. Live on Whatnot for heart-pounding bidding wars and instant deals. Can't make the stream? Be sure to follow us on Facebook for previews of upcoming shows at VMT Collectibles. Once again, that is VMT Collectibles.
For all of you guys out there that do shop with us on Whatnot, we appreciate it. Be sure to check out my buddies at VMT Collectibles, man. Dollar starts on everything every Friday night. And while you're on Whatnot, if you haven't, make sure you check out Young Hidden Collectibles. Burning and turning, like VMT says, every 2 weeks, we curate the best possible show for you guys. Just turned 196 items, and we are still currently packaging boxes to this day. Only 74 orders to package. 30 were packaged yesterday, 20 were packaged the night of, and the rest have been packaged today. I am shot, and now I know how it feels to be a big spender. And of course, now with Young Hitter Collectibles being Lionel Racing's verified sellers, it is going to be a little bit difficult, a little bit more difficult, because we're going to be selling some crazy pieces once we get our hands on them. Looking to try to get some crazy new 2026 pieces pre-release for you guys. I've already got my hands on a 2026 Ryan Blaney body armor, which he has yet to even drive that car yet. So crazy pieces we do curate for you guys. If you haven't, be sure to download the Whatnot app. Check out Whatnot. And I believe I still have the code. I need to add the invite link, but I believe I have VMT's direct link. If you do exclamation point Whatnot, do exclamation point Whatnot or exclamation point VMT, I cannot remember. But if you're interested in checking out VMT, try one of those commands in the chat, and it'll give you the direct link to their Whatnot page. And of course, you can find me the same way. Oh yeah, and definitely be sure to check out Daniel Brandon's charity auction March 16th. I'm afraid to see what he is selling, but I damn sure will be there myself. Probably gonna go broke. Absolutely broke. Chase Greer, still in the lead at the time of the caution, will be your leader for this restart. Daniel Holloway in second, James Amandarud in third, Eric Rodman in fourth, Dalton Gibson in fifth. Now, one more time, the truck has went off. Can we make it 2 laps around the track with no cautions? God is praying for it. It has been a rough few for these drivers. Green flag back out. The 40 takes the high side this time for the restart. Gets a good jump. Will he go low is the biggest question. Mandaroo just behind. Mandaroo going to follow to the low side. It's going to leave Dalton Gibson up to the high side with no help. Either side draft is going to be his best friend of that huge line that's slowly starting to come. He's already down 3, 4, 5 positions. He shoots it low instead. So now Gibson's really going to be left out high to dry. 2 more laps to go, and they're already fanning out across the entire track. This can't be good. Watch your mirrors, listen to your spotters. Another wreck in the front of the field. And that is another caution. At this point, it's on the drivers. They are literally just being way too aggressive. 2 laps. You have to make it around 2 laps before that checkered flag is even waved. And it is insane to be watching a immediate spread out of all 3 lanes and no one gain anything off of it. I mean, right then and there, we'll even go back and show the replay on that. I feel like no one really gained anything. We'll go back from the green flag start. And I know you guys just watched it. We can watch it again. It started 2 by 2. Greer in the lead. He was the control car. Him and Mandaroo got high, got enough of a run. They both dropped down low pretty confident and comfortably. Then if you see the rest of the pack behind them, they're still about 2 wide, fighting for single file. And then out of nowhere, as soon as they get to the backstretch and they get back to a flat embankment, it seems like everybody just started spreading out. 3 wide lines, each line being used. I mean, that is what causes wrecks right there. You'll never be able to finish without wasting all the green-white checkers because of spreading out. And a huge pilot because of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars all impacted with that. Now it's going to kill Greer's opportunity to get the win because it happened in the front. He's going to go down to 9th. Daniel Holloway made it through that. Gary Breland as well. Robert McRae, Jeremy James, and Trevor Yates all still currently in the top 5. Not really missing anything from the wreck. So now, one more time, we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to go around one more time. I am practically out of affiliates, so we are going to sit here and try to figure out what this restart's going to look like. It's been a little crazy already. I mean, to be honest, 13 cautions within 100 laps. Now it's way more than a quarter of the race ran under pace laps. We can check it out right now as well. Race recap. 39 laps of cautions. So we are almost at a half of the race under cautions. 23 lead changes, almost the entirety of a stage under cautions. There's only 100 laps in here. There's only 100 laps in here. FR 900, appreciate the raid. Hope your stream was going good. Guys, make sure you follow FR 900. I don't believe I have a shout out command. Need to set one up. But yeah, 13 cautions right now for about 40 laps of pacing. I mean, it's, you know, stage 1 break was about 50 laps. Was actually 50 laps on the dot. 100 laps of the race. So, I mean, we are nearing almost a half of the race fully under cautions and an immense amount of lead changes. Kind of what you expected here at Super Speedway for Talladega. But it's just an unfortunate situation that we are, you know, to the point now where we're at. It could have been a little bit better last restart. We're going to see how this restart here goes now. Holloway is your leader on the bottom side. Green flag back out. 3 laps to go. It has went from 100 laps to an estimated 111. It has been lengthened. Now will they do the same thing on the backstretch we saw them do just a few laps ago before the last caution came out? Right here, as soon as they hit that straight embankment, everybody started fanning out. And not much fanning. You're going to see a lot of 2x2s, so possibly race control and the admins over the radios telling them to clean it up to finish the race. They've wasted all their green-white checkers. Now they know what is on the line here. Gary Breland in the 11 in first place right now. If they cross the line and the white flag comes out, the wrecks do not matter anymore as they are still going to have to finish this race. Here we go, coming into the front stretch. Gary Breland, white flag. He has taken it officially. No more cautions at this point in time. If a wreck happens, you are screwed. So be sure not to wreck. 2x2 action. The high side's not getting any run. Breland seems to possibly go undeterred here. They are fanning out now. Late block happening. He still has the lead on the bottom. 2x2. 71. Trying to close the gap. Wreck on the bottom. Maintained it. The 9 goes back out. Another wreck in the backfield. Huge collision off the wall. No caution is going to come out. It is white flag racing right now. Gary Breland in the lead. Coming to the line. This is really going to be a close call. Who's going to get it? Breland by a few seconds is going to be able to take the second week win here at Talladega. Gary Breland takes the win for week 2 at Talladega by an insane green-white checkered finish. That was very, very close. Almost got involved in a wreck there. Oh, and cars still going around on the track just cleared out. The 21 at the line. Now let's go back one more time. Let those drivers get out of the cars before we do that interview with our top three and see from when the white flag came out. Right here's where it started to get dicey. Started seeing everybody go around trying to get to that high side and get the runs. And of course you started seeing a wreck. The 9 got bumped up. Went down. First clear out. 4 cars out. Heavy hit to the wall for Robert McRae. Leaders kept rolling. Huge wreck behind. And Gary Breland able to make it away from those 4 cars to take the win for himself. Now, of course, top 3 interviews are in order. Looking at your official results, Gary Breland takes the win here today. Daniel Holloway finishes in second. Jeremy James in third. Those are our interviews today. Just outside of the top 3 was Todd Poston in fourth. Ethan Horst in fifth. Chase Greer in sixth. Grayson Pate in 7th with Matt Banky in 8th, Zach Stevens in 9th, and Dalton Gibson rounding out your top 10. So, of course, let's go ahead and go to our 3rd place finisher, being Jeremy James, and get the first interview with him of the night going. Oh, I still don't have access to move them again. Dalton, I know you're watching. Well, while we're going to wait for that driver to get in the booth, we're going to watch that last lap replay from the white flag once again. All right, now we are going to have the presence of our 3rd place finisher, number 73, Jeremy James.
How's it going?
Pretty good. I probably can't say the same for you, as that was a pretty tough race. It was about majority of the race, about almost half of the race, 39 laps pacing. Kind of take us through how you felt about majority of those cautions.
It got tiring after a bit. I'll say that. I'm pretty ready for bed on that. But it was a lot of pacing, stuck in the middle there. So it was nice to get up there towards the end and get some points, especially after a bad last week.
Now, you started in 23rd. You were able to make your way all the way up to the top 3, which is a pretty good situation to finish out in. It'll definitely help you on points now going forward into week 3. Believe you were currently sitting at 26th on points with only 15. So now this finishing position should boost you up decent amount of spots, of course, over some of those that were DNF'd early on. How was the track for you tonight with the next gen cars, especially having to maneuver around a lot of other drivers? 40 car field to start off with.
Pretty good. I like it. For the most part, I felt like it handled pretty good, and I was just a little nervous there. I had some wheel damage there, so I didn't know how much it was really going to slow me down, but yeah, I like these cars. They're fun.
Now, of course, with this race out of the way, of course, only super speedways to look forward to. We have still a lot more racing weeks to go before we could actually even hit the playoffs. Next week on the 16th is going to be back at Daytona for the trucks. How are you feeling about your opportunity to get a higher finishing position at Daytona in the trucks compared to where you did just a week ago?
I like the trucks. I feel like I drive them pretty good. It's what my teammate, I think it's his favorite as well. So I feel like we should place decent as long as we can get a little bit of luck there.
Now, speaking of teammates, I believe you have probably the best finishing position out of your teammate because he did get wrecked at that lap. He finished in 17th this week. Kind of take us through, your team strategy, trying to, negate most of the wrecks and keep a lot of the damage off of your cars. What was really your guys' strategy going into this race tonight?
Really just try to pace. Try to pace, stay with everything, and just try to avoid it until we get later there and try to put us in a decent position. We were gonna try for the pass there, but with him getting wrecked there, I just unfortunate.
Now, of course, before we let you go, it is getting late on a Monday night. Of course, we always like to ask if you have any shout outs you'd like to give to anybody.
I'd just like to give a shout out to my wife for letting me do this stuff, and my buddies that race it with me have fun doing it. So that's about it.
Well, of course, wasn't able to get the win, but you got a way better finishing position tonight than what you did last week. So congratulations to you on your top 3. First top 3 of the season. Hopefully you will be able to get that win out before playoffs start, if not get the win in the playoffs. And we look forward to seeing what you are going to do with the rest of your season.
Appreciate it. See you guys next week.
You have a good one. And that was Jeremy James, your 3rd place finisher. Looking forward to seeing what the rest of the season has in store for him, as now that is his highest finishing position on the season. Of course, only week 2, but that still makes a difference on points. Now, of course, a lot of people did wreck out tonight, so that is going to make a difference maker on the points. Daniel Holloway was one of the very few that was able to make it within the top 3. Feel like last week, I don't think he is actively on the points. I'm not seeing anything in notes about him on points. So he'll have a decent amount of points made here tonight. But of course, we're going to talk to him ourselves here. We're going to get Not going to get Daniel in. We're going to need Daniel pulled up into the booth, because I cannot do it myself. All right, now our second place finisher, Daniel Holloway, is joining us here in the booth. Daniel, you started in about 14th position, finished all the way in second. Kind of take us through those last few green-white checkers. What was going through your mind?
Oh gosh, trying to make some deals here and there to see like who in front of me. I know I had a tiny bit of damage in the front end, so I wasn't sure how the car would do when it was open, and the 40 and I had a good start, and boom, another caution. So I was very surprised just to lead there. It was just more of positioning after 10 to go as far as where to be in the right position and everything, and I was stuck on the inside this whole race for restarts. I kept telling my teammates, can I at least get the outside, but never mind. Inside worked all this time. Just needed some good green flag runs, because earlier in the race it was great, and I think we had quite a few teams and drivers there where we were beating them in the pits and fuel strategy and stuff. So this Hershey Kisses cookies and cream car, boy, she's still strong. Little dent here and there, but she kept on kicking.
Now, of course, we had about 39 laps of pacing. That's almost the entirety of a singular stage, about half, almost half of the race under caution. Do you feel like that took away a lot of not only the gas strategy and the green flag pit stops, but kind of a lot of the momentum from not only you in certain points in time, but from the other drivers that kind of could have impacted the race to a big standpoint, to be honest?
Yeah, I do believe so, because with that many laps in the second half for cautions for paces, I know we'll clean that up. Still a lot of some bugs to work out with this league and stuff. A lot of new guys, new faces and stuff in here too. Yeah, I think after that, after the stage and stuff, everybody was still being pretty aggressive and stuff, which I think there was one point I know for sure I was in the middle where we were doing 4 wide, 5 wide, which, green flag like that for quite a few laps. I'm pretty sure that was pretty good for you up in the booth, and for the fans that are watching, putting a show there. I thought that was pretty awesome, but definitely knuckle tightness and stuff like that, holding, gripping on the steering wheel, making sure you don't get turned or anything like that. But yeah, it did figured, far as fuel mileage, it did take that out, because like 20 to go was, some people wouldn't gonna make it, some people was borderline, some people had to pit. I was very close for pitting, so I had to try to save a good half a gallon of fuel just to make sure I can make it through the end. But it is what it is as far as what happens tonight, and we'll get this cleaned up and everything. But I do want to shout out, 40 drivers, 41 drivers tonight. That's pretty impressive for just starting off with this league this season and stuff like that. And yeah, it will get better, that's for sure.
Now, of course, you had a phenomenal race last week, 47 points, 9 stage points. Of course, didn't get the win. Unfortunately, didn't grab it again here tonight, just short. How do you feel like this is gonna boost you, especially with the points? Christian Rhodes is just behind with 46, only 1 point off, and then Horst in third. Of course, Breland now with the win tonight, but he wasn't even in the top 10. So how do you feel like your position is still kind of, oh, excuse me, Breland is in the top 10. He is at 5th. But how do you feel like this is gonna kind of change your point standings and kind of affect how you're going to have to race a few more races within the next few weeks?
Just got to be consistent, that's for sure. I mean, I could have. We were just talking in the waiting room with Breland, that's right there at the white flag where he came to block me, and if I would have moved a little bit higher, I could have hit him in the right rear. He could have wrecked and probably took me. Me right now, if I win, I win. If not, points. It's just a consistent trying to get as much points as I can, and uh, it'll come to me as far as the wins, hopefully. But if I flirt around the top 10 every race towards the end there, and I got a very good shot of winning it, it's gonna happen. I think one time, but just hitting these top fives and just keep on keeping this car nice and clean, and with the teammates, Candy Shack, we all work together and stuff and talk to each other a lot. So it's a lot of teamwork, a lot of strategy too. But got to keep her clean and be up front at the end. That's where it counts.
That is definitely where it counts, indeed. Now, looking forward to next week, we are in the trucks at Daytona. We've already been to Daytona once in these cars, but haven't touched them yet in the trucks. So how are you feeling about that moving forward now, especially if we get another 40-car field next week?
Just got to survive. Trucks, I'm good. Be a different paint scheme, so I'll be back to my original, the Hershey Kisses one out there with the ribbon. The truck's a little bit slower and stuff, but got to keep the truck clean because I know they don't like damage, because if they get damaged, they're a lot slower, and it can affect handling, speed, aerodynamic, and stuff like that. But one race at a time is all I can do, and take it.
Well, I know you already gave a little shout out to those 40 cars, but of course, I want to ask you if you have any more shout outs you'd like to give to anybody before we let you enjoy the rest of your Monday.
Yeah, shout out to you, Tyler, for broadcasting this race. You're doing a fantastic job, and ASCRL, this new league that the just started in open arms with a bunch of guys that accepted us, and everybody who again, 41 drivers. It's unbelievable. I know 11 cautions, but it'll get better. Like earlier this race, it was pretty darn good and competitive, and we'll get there. So I just shout out to all the drivers out there too. Again, without them, can't make this league.
Well, of course, it's not first place, but second is better than last. So congratulations on your second place finish. We look forward to possibly getting that winner interview from you at some point in time. But of course, good luck next week in the trucks.
Thanks, Tyler. Everybody have a good night, and thanks for all the fans and family out there is watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show.
You have a good one. That was second place finisher, the number 21 of Daniel Holloway. Now, one more interview left for the night, and that is the man that came back through all of the adversity to be able to get the win, Mr. Breland.
Yes, sir. How we doing?
Doing good. Hopefully you're doing better now that the race is over after a crazy few green-white checkers there at the end.
Oh man, that was something. I guess that's what we'll say.
Now, at the start of the race, did you expect that many pace laps, or just that many incidents in total for the night?
No, I guess you could say anything could happen at a super speedway, Dega included. But if you'd have told me before we got in the cars that we'd be finishing damn near under the lights, I'd have called you a liar, but here we are.
Yeah, I didn't expect that late of a finish either, especially, how early the race really started, but anything is possible in racing. You really can't count anything out until you experience it. Now that you got the win. You've definitely got yourself a lot extra points now moving forward into next week. Going to back to Daytona, but in the trucks this time. How are you feeling about, your opportunity to possibly work through the adversity again with a hopefully 40 car field to start off with to put yourself in a good position for another win?
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the difference between the next gen and really anything else, this car is a tank. It's incredibly stable. Um, and the trucks are a completely different monster. So, um, you know, we got a good field. Hopefully, we can clean some things up next week and be running up front. The goal is to not put ourselves in the back and get involved in any of that mess, and hopefully get some actual stage points next week and maybe top 10 or 15 or so. So
Now, you started all the way back in 15th here for the night. You were managed yourself on damage and fuel and just strategy in itself to put yourself in a really good position there at the end. One of the only Toyotas to finish in the top five. What would you really say you contributed to your win?
um, I, obviously fuel management is a huge part of these super speedway races. That would probably be one. And then obviously tonight, unfortunately, I'd say wreck avoidance would be a close second. I was as far back as 28th at one point, and to work myself back to the front and have a chance even at the win was good enough for me. We just happen to be on the right side of this thing.
Now, of course, not too long of a season. We go to Daytona and Talladega on and off every other week, just switching the gen of cars or the cars itself. Where do you feel like, other than this week and the next gen, will be your strong week? Because I know we go back to the next gen at a later date, going, I believe, in the playoffs, the Final Four race in the playoffs. Of course, next week is trucks. The week after that, or 2 weeks after that, will be the Gen 4s and then Xfinity, and then back to Gen 6 before we start the round of 12. So within these next, 4 generation switches or class switches, where do you feel like you possibly would be the strongest again, other than tonight?
Um, I'm pretty confident with the trucks. Gen 4s, I don't have a lot of experience. Gen 6, I'm pretty excited about. Really confident in those. To be honest with you, it'd be the O'Reilly's cars that I'm not looking forward to driving whatsoever. I don't think they push well. I don't think they take pushes well. And yeah, that'd be the weak point, I think.
Well, I mean, looking forward, I feel like it'll be a pretty good season for you. Hopefully, you can get yourself back into victory lane. You tried pretty hard last week in the same car, the 23 Xfinity, and kind of fell a little bit shy of that. So, obviously, different week, different outcome. Do you feel like this is kind of going to give you that confidence boost going into, the trucks? Of course, like you said, you're comfortable with the trucks, but does this kind of help you a little bit more in the long run?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Like you said last week, got wrecked in the trial. We'll run in third or fourth. So weren't going to win, but top five, good point stay. Ended up finishing 14th. Super unfortunate. So this was obviously a huge turnaround, and hopefully one we needed to keep the momentum going on. But to say that I did it on my own is foolish. I had 3 really good teammates and a couple Toyotas there to help me out at the end, and so
Now, of course, before we let you go, we're going to ask you if you have any shout outs you'd like to give to anybody before you go and enjoy the rest of your night.
yeah, absolutely. Obviously going to start with my team first, Quack Pack Racing. We got a pretty good group here. didn't get everybody to the front tonight, unfortunately. But it's a team win, so that's great. And then the admins here at ASCRL, Dalton, Todd, Daniel, Ethan, all the guys there. I mean, to put this thing together as quick as they did, and then have a 30-car turnout and then a 40-car turnout tonight, and 2 damn good finishes. It's really props to those guys. So, huge shout out and huge thanks to those guys for putting this thing together.
Well, of course, Mr. Breland, congratulations on your win here tonight. Definitely a well-deserved and well-fought victory. We look forward to seeing what you're going to be able to do with the rest of your season, and we look forward to possibly talking to you up here again in the future.
Let's do it.
You have a good one.
Yeah, you as well. Thanks.
And of course, that was your winner of the race. After an insane turnout, 40 cars started the field and not finished. It was a tough night for a few drivers after a lot of wrecks early on and all the way to the late stages of the race. Oh, another wants to pop up. We'll go back to green flag lap. There we go. Your unofficial results are on the screen now. Now official. Daniel Holloway takes the win here tonight. Gary Breland finishes in second. That's not the actual. Hold on. Let me pop out the checkered because that is not the correct results. Last time you will watch this there, Gary Breland finishes in first with Daniel Holloway in second, Jeremy James in third. Rounding out your 1, 2, and 3 spots. An insane race here tonight. 39 laps of pure pacing. And at the end, it slowly but surely got better. Of course, it has been an insane night to sit here and commentate, especially on a crazy super speedway race like this. Of course, 3:16 at the same time, 9:05 for your green flag. We will be back here for more action-packed racing for American Stock Car Racing League at Daytona in the trucks. So if you haven't, hit that follow button, and we will catch you next time. But until then,